This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our Bentley roll-off trailer and lugger truck, June 28, 2021. U.S. weekly crude steel production rose to 1.839 million tons, an 82.9% steel mill utilization rate versus 90% plus in 2008. Slow production growth continues to cause shortages. WTI crude oil price rose to $74.05 a barrel, the highest since October 2018. Global demand is increasing as OPEC and OPEC Plus very gradually increase output. The U.S. weekly oil rig count rose to 372, down 76.9% from 2014's high. Higher prices are very slowly bringing more rigs. U.S. weekly crude oil production fell to 11.1 million barrels per day, still down 15.3% from pre-COVID. Higher prices are very slowly bringing higher production. U.S. weekly oil imports, yes, oil imports into the U.S. There remains a false narrative that the U.S. no longer imports oil. See the chart below for the last 6 weeks of oil imports. They come from Canada, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Colombia, Ecuador, Nigeria, and even, yes, from Russia. Scrap steel number one HMS export buying price Philly was steady at $420 a gross ton, the 10-year high on good demand and good supply. Scrap steel number one HMS price was steady at $461.67 a gross ton, as slight upward pressure remains for July. Copper price rose to $4.28 a pound, 10% off the recent high on good demand and China releasing copper stockpiles. Aluminum price rose to $1.11 a pound, which is $2,446 a metric ton on good demand and China releasing aluminum stockpiles. Canadian April retail sales fell 5.7% versus March, the first decrease in 3 months, mainly due to the store closures due to the third wave of COVID in Canada. U.S.-made core personal consumption expenditure, the index for that, which is also called the PCE, is a key inflation measure the Feds like to use. Inflation increased 3.4% year over year, the highest since 1992, above the 2% Fed target, but that was from a low base. U.S. Q1 GDP, that's growth, grew at 6.4%, which is the second estimate that we've seen from the government. Growth could be 9% in Q2. Note that there was a 2.2% average growth in the 2 years pre-COVID. Unfortunately, the 2017 tax cut forecast of 4 and 5% growth never did happen. U.S. June U of M Consumer Sentiment Index was revised lower to 85.5, still the second highest since the pandemic. Inflation expectations and the current conditions gauge fell. U.S. June IHS Manufacturing PMI Index jumped to 62.6, another record. Factory activity, output, and new orders all grew. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 1,144 points to 34,434, near a record high. The U.S. Federal Reserve is saying no rush to raise interest rates and on positive infrastructure talks, as well as personal spending, actually stagnated. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.